5:19, 33 degrees on day 17. All right, y'all, 6:49 and 42 degrees even now. 33 when I woke up. So when I tried to do my wake up morning check-in, my GoPro turned off again. So I just don't like sleeping with the GoPro. It's a lot of work. I gotta like take off the mounts. All right, guys, 7:08 in the morning and 44.2 degrees. We're just finishing up this road walk, and Manny Garcia pulled up here. Stranger said he doesn't have any water, but he does have a couple beers. What a legend. So good morning, America. We're gonna start our day with a little morning beer this morning. Thanks so much, Manny. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you so much.
You wanna say hello? Hey.
Hi. Wow, okay, so this was a fire line.
There's the guy, he's a legend. Cheers, man.
Firefighters up there?
Thanks so much, Manny. Appreciate it.
There's a camp up there in the Grill Fire Base.
Yeah.
All right, cheers.
Okay, so that's 7:15. It says, do you want a beer?
Yeah.
Yep.
You're speaking my language, bro. There you go. Cheers.
What?
Yeah.
Say the
Just
number. What is
oh,
it?
this is
Number 4. Trail Magic here.
no. Was it 4?
4 and 5.
So it was the dudes in the truck. It was the thru-hiker. It was the gals with the broken brakes, and then it was this guy who gave us one for now and one for later. Amazing. Not a bad little view for a Coors banquet either. He was a forest fighter, right?
Yeah, hot shot fighter.
Hot shot fighter.
Yeah.
You can see over here is where it all burned, and over here is the fruits of his labor. So,
Yeah.
good stuff.
And lucky too, because supposedly this was just a week ago.
Yeah, I hadn't heard anything about this burn. Ooh. Yummy. All right, 8:10 a.m. and 55.6 degrees. Just leaving a very fortunate water source. There were no comments, no recent comments on whether this water source, these water troughs, had any water in them. But there were comments on this water source that there was a solar well back probably a mile or so. And neither Midnight Chocolate nor myself saw any sign of a solar well, which is strange because the comment is only from like a week ago. Meanwhile, that friendly fellow who gave us a couple beers, as we said, he's a hotshot firefighter, and there was that big burn that that happened last week, so I can't say for sure whether that burn took out the solar well or whatever, but we couldn't find the solar well, and there was a recent burn, so we were kind of hamstrung whether there would be water at this trough. Is kind of like the last possible point for water for the next 12 miles or so. And if there hadn't been water here, then it would have just been a long dry hike, really. I mean, I had about 1.5 liters. I think Midnight said she had about 2 liters, and then we each had a beer, which all of a sudden would have become a resource. So the water wasn't pretty, but you know, honestly, it was pretty, if you catch my meaning. So I'm happy to have it, and at this point we will continue hiking through the oblivion of sort of central western Nevada or New Mexico. Yeah. Man, oh man. All right, well, we're 13 miles into the day, 13 plus. It's 11:32, 64 degrees. We've made it to what had been called a reliable water source, what, 5 days ago or so? Yeah, 5 days ago, called Dutchman Springs. Well, the spring is very well dry, and the spring culminates in this amazing looking pond right here. And that is far and away the least appealing water source I've seen anywhere on the CDT so far. There are cow hooves, there's an oily sheen, there's all sorts of like mosquito-y type bugs floating around it that look too scared to land in it themselves. But there's also every possibility that this is the last water source for the day. So I think what I'm gonna do is scoop up 3 liters of it and just hump it. There is a possibility that there's more water in 6 miles. And if there's more water in 6 miles, nothing would make me happier than dumping out this sludge and scooping up instead some of the other water. So, I mean, I trust my filter and I trust Aquamira, but this stuff is revolting, man. Jeez. Well, I'll try not to give too much thought as to what portion of it is the liquid from cow feces and urine, and which portion of it started in its life as water. But here we go. We'll scoop some up. All right, just a couple minutes after, wound up not scooping that water. Midnight chocolate. Thankfully, read the map again. And now we're coming up on the tire that's supposed to be Dutchman Spring, just a quarter mile further down trail. Let's see what we got. Bone dry. Let's see, hang on. The fate of the day hangs in the balance. What's that? Chickpeas? Well, we're gonna have to reach down to scoop it. What's it, probably 3 feet down or so? Throw a rock in the C-knock, lower it down with a string. Ought to do the trick. All of a sudden that water is looking absolutely delicious. All right. All right, guys, 12:59, 63.2 degrees. Just leaving Dutchman Spring, which did have water. Quite mercifully, it was very low. As you saw, probably 3 feet down to the well. Maybe I guess it would have been less than that because I could reach it with my arm. But basically I had to lay flat on the ground in order to scoop up water. So, yeah, definitely. I mean, we're definitely back into New Mexico water scarcity point. So, Midnight Chocolate and I just sat down and had our water requiring meals. I think she had some dehydrated refried beans, and I had some my usual sort of double portion of ramen with tuna. Figured better to take care of those meals here at the water source so we can eat them and clean them and then pack out as much water really as we can, unfortunately. So I'm packing out 5 liters of water. I think Midnight was packing out a comparable amount. I'm not quite certain. She left just a few minutes before me here. So we're packing out this much water because the next very reliable water source is in 21 miles. And there is a potential water source in 6 miles, but it has very similar sort of reviews of a similar age to the reviews of that cow pond you guys saw earlier with the oily sheen upon it. And frankly, I just really want no part of drinking that water. It looked really, really bad. So again, trust my filter and trust Aquamira, but man, I'd rather carry 12 pounds of water than then resort to drinking that. So that's what it is. As I said, it's just about 1 o'clock. Leaving Dutchman Springs. I have 12 pounds / 5 liters of water. And should be just about 6 miles or so from the spot we've sort of earmarked for camping for the night. So it might wind up being a short day. We shall see. Yeah, not a lot of shooting today because this has pretty much been, I mean, not even pretty much, this has been the whole day. It's just these sort of gravel logging, forest road things. Not very exciting. Oh, here comes the wind, I'm out of here. All right, 123, just barely left Dutchman Springs. And we've reached an interesting crossroad. This is where the official CDT, or I should say maybe where the Gila alternate rejoins the official CDT, which means I can go back to CDT blaze tapping. Something else that's pretty exciting about this point is it's our first moment above 9,000 feet since my plane ride to El Paso. So that's pretty cool. There was a truck down there. I think this is right though. I mean, blazes always tend to be good signs that you're going the right way. So.
Plus it takes us down to the saddle, which is what this road is supposed to see for you.
Man, that's pretty out there, dude. Yeah, it's windy. It stayed cool all day. Nice and overcast and all that. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. All right, just wanted to check in and say over 9,000 feet and back on the official CDT. Maybe. Worthwhile caveat. You never really can be too sure. But we are heading north. I know that Canada's north, so that's good. Guys, 3:41 and 70.6 degrees. I am just about 1.5 miles from the spot that Midnight Chocolate and I had kind of earmarked as a campsite tonight. And being 1.5 miles from the campsite means that I've reached the pond that I mentioned earlier. So it doesn't look quite as bad as the last pond, but it certainly doesn't look great. At least in this one, there's like what appears to be some relatively healthy looking algae and little water bugs and stuff swimming around, which means that it can sustain life at a not strictly bacterial level. But I do have 4 liters of water. The issue is that the next pretty confident water source isn't for another, I think, 13 miles tomorrow. Or is it more than that? It might be, I think it's 15 miles tomorrow. So the question is whether 4 liters of water is good for tonight plus 15 miles tomorrow. There are a couple of other opportunities for potential water. Let me get this. Sorry. A couple of potential water spots nearer than 15 miles. Ooh. So I'm not able to carry a whole ton much more water than I have right now. I can carry another liter really pretty easily. So if I'm going to get this water, the issue would be I'm going to slam a liter, maybe 1.5 liters right now, and then carry out 5. So another liter and 1.5 liters right now would be good for tonight. I don't need any more water for dinner. So is 4 liters enough to go? Is 4 liters enough to go 15 miles? 15 miles is 5 hours. I take maybe 1 liter in the morning. 5 hours. 3 liters. That's 1 liter every hour and 30-ish, call it. I think I'm gonna pass. I think I'm gonna roll the dice. I think I'm gonna pass. I think I'm gonna keep moving. This is a very clear moment that I might wind up regretting. But I think I'm gonna pass. You know what? I might just hang tight and see what Midnight Chocolate's gonna do. This is gonna be her triple crown. She's been on a dry trail already on the PCT, and she's had worthwhile insights so far, so she shouldn't be too much further behind me. I think I'm just gonna sit down, stand by, and wait for Midnight Chocolate. My instinct right now is to pass, but we'll see what Midnight Chocolate's gonna do. All right, 424, 67.4 degrees, and I'm just leaving this pond. Midnight Chocolate has come and gone, contributed some worthwhile kind of insights as to what I should do. I think she kind of sensed that I'm a little uneasy going 15 miles with 4 liters, especially considering that some of that 4 liters will be for tonight and tomorrow morning. So what I did, basically I gotta run through again what it is that I'm carrying with me, and as far as vessels. So I have 2 3-liter CNOC water bags, water bladders. One has like blue trim, one has orange trim. The one with blue trim I have thus far used exclusively for clean water. So that's water out of a spigot or out of a water cache. Oh, excuse me. Basically water I don't have to filter or anything. Clean water. The other CNOC 3-liter water bladder has orange trim, and that one is for dirty water. That is water that I do have to filter and or treat if it's really bad. And then I have 2 1-liter smart water bottles. Both of my smart water bottles are exclusively ready to drink. They're filtered, they're clean, whatever. Maybe they came out of a spigot, whatever, but they're clean. They're definitely clean, they're potable, they're good to go. So what I had arriving to that pond was pretty much 1 liter in a bottle, so clean water, potable water, plus maybe like 2 inches, an inch or 2 of potable water in a drinking bottle, plus 3 liters of dirty water from Dutchman Spring back a ways, which actually, as CDT water goes, there's a pretty good water source. That water looks pretty good. So that's what I had. What I wound up doing was I slammed that 2 inches that I had left plus the 1 liter that was in the other smart water bottle, and then I took the 3-liter orange bag, which had 3 liters of, you know, dirty, unfiltered water from Dutchman Springs, and I filtered about 1 liter of that into my blue bag. That'll be for pretty much just for breakfast and drinking. I won't carry that blue bag at all out of camp. Well, I'll carry the bag, but not with any water in it. So I took the 3-liter orange bag, I filtered 1 liter into the blue bag, and then filled up my water bottles so that I had my dirty bag empty. And then with my dirty bag, I definitely filled it with dirty water, that's for sure. Scooped up 3 liters out of that cow pond, and that I plan on treating with Aquamira when I get to camp, just so that it's already pre-treated, and then I'll carry that for backup tomorrow, so that basically the way it'll go is that tomorrow morning I'll have about 1 liter of water for breakfast and just to drink, and then I'll have 1 liter in each of my 1 liter bottles, so 2 liters good to hike on, and then I'll have 3 liters of that cow pond water, which will have been chemically treated by the time I go to bed tonight, and will just need to be filtered before it's theoretically good to go. I don't expect it'll taste delicious, but should go without saying, but clearly if I find a more attractive water source between now and the one which will be about 15 miles from camp tomorrow, between now and the one which will be about 15 miles from where we're camping tonight, I can just dump that 3 liters in this orange bladder right now and scoop up a better water source. So we'll see how we go for sure, because that is the least attractive water source that I will have harvested, from which I will have harvested water thus far. But there's many miles left to go on this trail, so that's a superlative I'm not terribly excited about superseding, but expect I may at some point. So anyways, probably should be about a mile from camp now. We'll get there, we'll set up, and I'll probably check in one more time. All right, guys, 60.6 degrees and 6:08 p.m. and I'm over here at camp. There's my tent and Midnight Chocolate's tent. We got a pretty good wind blowing in from behind my back at this hour, and it's starting to get like a cold wind too, so we're both a little concerned that it might be a chilly night, but today was a good day. Had a pretty low-key dinner since I ate my ramen back at Dutchman Spring. You know, just had like some whatever Cheez-Its and Snickers and a couple protein bars for dinner once we got to camp here. Brushed my teeth again, and then got everything pitched up in the bear bag. Came to an unfortunate realization this evening, however, that I have just one bar left on my power bank, my 20,000 milliamp power bank. I had actually, back in I think Lordsburg, sent my 10,000 milliamp power bank up to Pie Town, which is the next stop, but it doesn't do me any good right now. So I will have enough juice to keep going after Pie Town. But right now, like, my phone is at 45%, my Garmin is at like 55%. I have enough batteries for the GoPro, so good for you, but not so good for me, because I'll be able to keep shooting these next few days, but it means I'm just gonna have like 3 days of backlog videos to process, which I've already done that once in Silver City, and it was thoroughly unpleasant to try and like edit videos as everyone's kind of hanging out and being social and stuff, but whatever, it'll be fine. It does mean, however, that I have got to really ration the juice that I have, so I'm going to charge up my phone. I'm going to just keep my phone off as often as possible. I mean, obviously it's in airplane mode the whole time I'm out here, but keep it all the way turned off. I'm going to keep it off overnight. I'm going to, you know, sleep with it to make sure that I conserve whatever battery might be drained otherwise in the cold. And same with my power bank. I've just got to conserve whatever tiny little bit of juice I can save. And again, luckily, you know, Midnight Chocolate's offered to let me use the solar panel, but clearly her priority is going to be keeping her stuff charged, and that's totally fine. So if it winds up that can be of some help, then that would be great. And if it doesn't, then that's fine too, hopefully. I mean, until my phone dies anyways, and then I'm kind of flying blind with respect to the alternates and everything. But hopefully it should just be one more night until, you know, tonight, and then tomorrow night in a tent as well. And then the next night, there's a pretty cool spot called De Villa or something like that, which is 14 miles outside of Pie Town, and theoretically they have power and stuff. So hopefully I'll be able to find a, you know, kind of like eke right into like a smooth picture, like photo finish or whatever, when it comes to power conservation and usage and stuff like that. But whatever, this is all just part of being on trail, really, so welcome to it. Yeah, today was a good day. We pretty much, as soon as we crested that 9,000 foot peak, pretty much immediately got off the road for the first time in like what feels like 2 full days, and started hitting trail again, which was really cool. And there was some fun trail, a little bit treacherous underfoot, some loose stuff, some not very well manicured trail, but I mean, again, that's all totally what I expected out here. So it was fine, and honestly, it was really fun. It was good to be back on a trail. Really cool to see the mountains off in the distance. I'm hoping some of those videos came out for you, but yeah, good to be back on trail. I'm not at all sure what tomorrow holds, except that the first 15 miles I won't have water, or I won't have a water source. I'll have this brown cow water here. Ooh, yeah, running low on electricity and drinking brown cow water. Welcome to the Continental Divide Trail. With that, I'm going to turn in and have a very early night of falling asleep, since I have no electronics to distract me. So yeah, talk to you all tomorrow.